What's up, guys? Today we're going to be unboxing a refurbished, very good condition iPhone 13 Pro Max here. Very curious to see what the battery health is. This one came from eBay and very nice packaging for a refurbished version. We got our SIM tool. We get our little Apple cable. And here is the phone itself here. So let's see what very good condition looks like. Got a little bit of plastic on here. This is the blue color. And let's see. Definitely pretty clean looking device here. Let's see. Do have a little bit of scuffs with this camera here. Just a little bit right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Just a little bit, not too bad. This is pretty good condition here for sure. Let's check out the screen. No actual scratches on the display here. Yeah, the display is actually very clean. So, yeah, I mean, just give it a little wipe down and it's actually really good condition. So this one was about $400, I think $30. So not bad. So let's go ahead and just boot this up. All right, so I got the phone wiped down and set up a little bit here. And yeah, the hardware, guys, is definitely very clean. And there was a few like little kind of scuffs things, but they came right off. And yeah, this is, I would definitely consider a very good condition. So that is very nice. And let's go ahead and just check out that battery health because that is very important. So let's check that out and see what we get here. 87% battery health. That's not bad at all. That's pretty good, actually. So if you guys do buy a used refurbished, iPhone 13 Pro Max, be sure to charge the phone to around 80%. That will definitely help with the screen on time. If you guys are planning on keeping this phone to the end of its, lifespan, that will help tremendously with battery performance here. Let's check out the display here. The display is a genuine display, so nothing, crazy going on with the panel here. Let's turn this down. And yeah, all my buttons and everything are working perfectly fine, so that's also very good. The display, like I said, was probably the cleanest thing about this phone here. So the 13 Pro Max has a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. This is 120 Hz, which I really like this phone because it has 120 Hz. It took Apple a really long time to put high refresh rate in their flagships because they really should have did it with like the 12 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. Honestly, that's when it really should have been there. But yeah, this is a really nice display. It's a big phone, 6.7 inches, still a very nice, PPI, so it's very sharp at 458. And then it is basically a 1080p plus display. It looks really good. The actual resolution is 1284 by 27780. So very nice, high, sharp display. Also, the haptics are really good on here as well too. I have zero complaints with the 13 Pro Max. I think the only thing about this phone is that outdoors is not as good as like the newer phones. It's something I'm starting to notice now that these phones have gotten super bright. It's 1200 nits, which is still good, but these phones have gotten like crazy bright. I think the 16 Pro Max is 2000 nits, but even like the newer Galaxies and some of the Xiaomi phones, we're talking about 2600 and even higher than that. So that's the one thing I noticed like taking this phone outside today. And yeah, so no issues with the panel on here. I think it still looks pretty good. Still respectable bezels on here, not too bad. You do get this kind of outdated notch here though. But I think most people are kind of used to it with these iPhones. Let's go ahead and check out the cameras here. So I was messing with the cameras earlier. Everything is pretty clean, very solid. On here, I have no issues with the cameras. The image quality on the 13 Pro Max is really good. Some of my favorite cameras. I just really like the way the shots come out. It is a 12 megapixel standard and a 12 megapixel telephoto. It has 3 times optical. This one goes up to 15 times. And then you also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide You have the 4K 60 video and the 12 megapixel selfie that also shoots in 4K 60. The cinematic mode is on here and stuff like that, but the shots look great. I remember this being, you know, some of my favorite cameras when it came out. Really good stills on here, really good color, dynamic range is great. The video is always really solid on these iPhones as well too. Great dynamic range, just really good natural looking video as well. And yeah, I don't really have any issues here with the image quality. This phone still looks really, really good. I'm going to compare it to my 16 Pro Max so I can see, you know, what you guys actually think about the image quality. But yeah, if you're just buying a phone and you don't want to spend too much money, you're trying to do social media, you know, just take pictures, good pictures and video, good video. And this will do perfectly fine. I actually really like the cameras here. I have the speakers here at max volume. Make sure that those are clean sounding. Very good sounding speakers, excellent quality. The bass is really good on here as well too. Check out the Face ID, that works really well. I didn't really have any issues setting that up. So everything is looking like it's really good quality. Everything is really good about this phone so far. I have zero complaints here. The awesome thing about the 13 Pro Max is this is a very good performer when it comes to actually gaming here. So we have the Apple A15 chip on here. We also have 128 gigs of internal storage on the Space model. And then we have 6 gigs of RAM. Performance-wise, it's still very good. And playing PUBG is also very good. We can play at 120 frames on PUBG. And this is a solid, you know, little gaming phone for people that are, you know, kind of on a budget. I mean, it feels pretty much the same as the 16 Pro Max and the newer phones. I can't really tell a difference. I don't really have too much of a heating issues with this phone. This phone, sometimes it does get a little bit warm because I remember when I first got it, but you know, I've never had this phone like crash on me or anything like that, or have any like real actual performance issues with the 13 Pro Max. So if you're trying to game on here, you know, play PUBG, Call of Duty, it's perfectly fine. And I'll show you guys some of these benchmarks here. So you can see here are the benchmarks, so if you want to compare them to another iPhone or another Android phone. And then also here's your 3D or Wildlife Extreme test here. So we're getting around 14 frames. And like I said, it's an overall solid phone when it comes to performance, guys. The animations and everything is still smooth. The scrolling and stuff is still smooth. Like I said, I really don't have an issue with performance on the 13 Pro Max here. It's honestly very solid. It's one of my favorite, you know, iPhones of all time. So I think that's about it for this video, guys. The battery life has always been, well, like I said, when I first got it, the battery life was solid on the 13 Pro Max. It was a really good performing phone when it came to screen on time. I had no issues with that. It's a 4,352 milliamp hour battery. You do have the 15 watt MagSafe that you can do your standard wireless charging. And yeah, I don't have any issues with the 13 Pro Max. I think it's a great older flagship to pick up in 2025. The gaming performance is great. The screen is great, even though the notch is a little bit, you know, kind of dated looking. You still have the latest version of iOS. It'll still get, you know, a few more updates for sure. And most importantly, for a lot of people, the cameras are still like really excellent. So that's really nice. And yeah, so what do you guys think of a 13 Pro Max here? Let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.